Aphids can be a major problem in the garden if they go unchecked. In this video, I'm going to go over some sustainable and organic solutions for controlling aphids in your garden, so hang around. Hey y'all, welcome to Homesteading Monday. I'm Gray Madden from Self-Reliance Publishing, and in this video, I want to discuss some organic and sustainable methods for controlling aphids in your garden. Now, if you're not familiar with aphids, if you're a new gardener, aphids are an insect that feed on your plants. They don't chew or eat the plant, but they pierce the leaves and suck out the moisture and the juice in the plant and cause the leaves to kind of curl up, wilt, and die. And if you've got a major problem on your hand, they can kill entire plants, kill the entire garden if it goes unchecked. Now, there's a couple different methods of controlling the aphids in your garden. You can control the environment to encourage predators and good bugs in your garden, such as ladybugs, and at the same time discourage the aphids and other pests. There's certain plants that you can plant to create that atmosphere. The second thing that you can do to control the aphids is to spray with different organic sprays. Now, you got to be careful with the sprays because most of your sprays are going to be harmful to your beneficial insects as well as to the pests. So you want to be careful with that. The ideal solution is to create an environment that is positive to those beneficial insects and repels the pests like aphids. So based off of my research, and I'm still in the beginning stages of experimenting with this, so I can't give you a lot of hard, concrete, personal experience with this. This is some stuff that I'm experimenting with this year. So I'll report back to you. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in gardening or anything really dealing with self-reliance. I'm on the journey to self-reliance. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm doing these videos to help keep me accountable to what I want to accomplish and hopefully help y'all out in the process. But some things that I'm doing as far as companion planting goes to encourage the beneficial insects and repel the aphids are planting things like chives, marigolds, fennel, dill, and garlic. Now, I've seen from various sources that these plants have the tendency of both encouraging ladybugs and other positive insects to come to your garden, and at the same time they discourage aphids from being in your garden. So you get really two things out of that. You're repelling the aphids from being there in the first place, and the ones that still wind up in your garden are going to be food, hopefully, for the beneficial insects such as ladybugs. Now, there's some controversy over this method of controlling aphids and different companion plants and whether they actually do or don't repel the aphids. Some people say there's a lack of scientific evidence, and some people say that any results are inconclusive and shouldn't be relied on. But at the same time, other people say that they've had great success with it and there's really no downside to it. So even if it doesn't work very well or isn't very efficient, that you've got nothing to lose. So you might as well experiment and try it out. It's important to know and understand that the pests are always going to come first and the predators follow. So you're going to see the aphids show up in your garden before you see any of the beneficial insects. And it's important to realize that and not freak out when you see those aphids and start spraying like a madman, because doing that's going to repel the ladybugs before they even move in, and you're going to sure kill some of the aphids and control some of that population, but you're not going to kill all of them, and they're going to rebound, and when they do, it's just going to be an even bigger problem because they're going to go somewhat unchecked because you've prevented the ladybugs from coming in. So if you're going to try and use the companion planting system or way of controlling aphids, keep that in mind and don't freak out when you see the aphids first. Give it some time, allow the ladybugs to come in to help control that population naturally before you start spraying. Now, there may still be a time and a place for spraying to control a bad or a rather large aphid population. And there's a couple of different organic and sustainable alternatives to do that. One such product is this neem oil here. This is effective at controlling aphids, but like the other sprays, it's also negative towards the positive insects as well. So you want to use it sparingly. But if you notice a couple of plants that seem to be hit harder than the rest, you can spray that sparingly on those plants to help control that aphid population a little bit. The neem oil is organic, but I want to consider it sustainable really. It's not a closed loop type of product. I don't know how to make neem oil. You got to buy it off of the shelf in the store. So it's an input, it's an outside input to your gardening process. So if you're looking at being as sustainable as possible and trying to homestead and garden in a closed loop type of system, you might want to look at other alternatives. Unfortunately, there are a few alternatives. One of them that is mentioned in my book, An Old Time Guide to Subsistence Gardening, is a nicotine solution, or a nicotine tea, brine, whatever you want to call it. It's essentially steeping tobacco leaves in hot water for some time and then straining out the leaves and spraying that nicotine solution on the plants in question and to kill the aphids. Once again, you want to be careful with that and use it sparingly, because you're not just going to be doing damage to the aphids, you're also going to be harming your ladybugs as well. So use it sparingly. But tobacco is something that you could grow a few plants in your garden to create this insecticide. So it is something that could be a sustainable, sort of self-sufficient, self-reliant kind of insecticide that you can produce yourself on your own homestead. Another solution is creating a spray out of garlic and hot peppers. Aphids don't like either one of those plants, so you can create a spray by steeping water in crushed garlic and crushed hot peppers and then straining that out and using that as a spray to control the aphid population. Again, it still does damage to the positive insects, to the beneficial insects, so go light with it. But like the tobacco, that is something that you could easily produce in your own garden, on your own homestead, and use in a closed loop system. If you're gardening, it's important to have a plan to help prevent disease and pest problems. And it's also important to have a plan to respond to any disease or pest problems that occur. So hopefully this gives you some ideas about how to handle aphids in a sustainable and organic manner. As always, I appreciate every like and every comment. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.